welcome to another episode of Band That's Boris and Matt Weekly, the show where we chat about sports, we chat about entertainment, and then at the end of the episode, we usually wrap it up by chatting some sports entertainment. We're your hosts. I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by Matt.
Bonjour! How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well, Boris. Summertime and the living's easy. Boris on the microphone with Matthew E. We're doing it. It's 31 degrees. My computer's telling me it's a heat wave. It's official in Toronto.
Yeah, it's hot as balls. Even yesterday was super hot. Spent most of yesterday outside just walking around doing stuff, and it was pretty warm. But there was a nice little breeze at times, but today it's just hot. Like,
yeah,
it's just slapping you in the face hot.
Yeah, sticky, sweaty day in Toronto. 31 feels like 34 with the Humidex right now. It's going to be a summer full of this, buddy. Let's get used to it.
Yeah, pretty much. But you know what? It could be a lot worse. It could, I can live with this for now. How's everything going?
Well, I'm enjoying the sunshine pretty well, man. Thank you for asking. Yeah, my roommate's brother has been in town for like the week, so it's been a little crowded, but he just left today, so I have the day off from work today, just handling some business, by which I mean accidentally on purpose playing like 6 hours of MLB The Show. I just got it on the Switch. Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Once we hang up here, I've got to like shower and go leave the home. But I've been avoiding the heat today, but I got to go venture into the world pretty soon, buddy.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. So earlier today I recorded the midweek markout. We're recording late just because of the
glut of shows.
Yes.
There were so many things going on, so many shows on the SNME family. We didn't want to, try to upstage anyone or just have too many things to listen to, right? Slot ourselves right in here Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, Yeah,
exactly. Which is fine. It'll happen from time to time, especially when there's a AEW pay-per-view mainly on Sunday, just because it went so late, right? Which it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I understand the logic that Tony Khan gave us for going late this time. I think it made sense. And like every now and then, one show a year, 5 hours, that's not the end of the world. I didn't have to review it though, right? Like shout out to Mark and to Mike and to Dan and to Joe for sticking with it the whole time. It's awesome work, fellas.
Yeah, well, I was there too, but I was there just to make sure that everything went well, right? More than anything else. And then I have to be. Here's my thing. I have to be up regardless. I have to wait for the show to finish. So
true.
I'm always around in some shape, way, or form. But we have Hell in a Cell this Sunday, and then we also have a Aftercast. That's just the podcast that happens after the show, hence the name Aftercast for NXT in your house. Which later today we're going to be watching, I guess, the Go-Home show for that show.
True, and then we got to have NXT Talk coming at you Wednesday morning as well. So, man, quite a lot to get through. You're going to BC pretty soon too, right? You're going to be in Vancouver for that In Your House show.
Yeah. We'll see. There might be a chance that I have to move the trip again, but we'll see. It just got to make sure that everything is good here.
For sure.
So but. That's fine. I'd rather move it than be, on the other side of the country if something would happen. So, what can you do?
I feel you, brother. Well, hopefully it can go off without a hitch, but if not, you'll figure it out eventually. But anyway, man, yeah. Shall we begin? Shall we get into her?
Let's get into her.
Lots to talk about today.
Yeah, there's tons to chat about. We're going to be chatting some playoff updates. We're going to be chatting some best of the Super Juniors, maybe some Impact, and then we have a nice little retro review to end the show.
Yes, and we're going to be doing some Double or Nothing recap as well. But let's quickly start with Norm Macdonald. His final comedy special came out. It's kind of like half of a comedy special, 2/3 of a comedy special. It's the material that he had been working on during the pandemic, and he filmed it just with a headset on in front of his computer, just talking like me and you are right now, Boris. And it's basically a live podcast more than it is a stand-up special, but it's Norm Macdonald's final hour of material that he was working on, that he was hoping to go present in front of people, but the pandemic stopped it, and unfortunately he passed away. So if you're even a small fan of comedy or a big fan of Norm Macdonald like I am, it's must see. It's unfinished, but you still get some big laughs. But have you checked it out yet, Boris? Nothing special?
Not yet, but it is on my to-watch list. Like, it's something I really do want to check out. I've heard good stuff, so...
Yeah, it's incredible. They have like a panel afterwards with like Dave Chappelle, Conan O'Brien, Adam Sandler, Molly Shannon.
Oh, wow.
Who else is on it? David Spade. There's one other person who's on it too. I'm drawing a blank, but it's really incredible. Like friends and confidants of Norm Macdonald, and yeah, it was really nice. He made me laugh a bunch of times. The first 5-10 minutes, I was like, oh, this might be rough, but I do find it really picks up as he's kind of getting more confident and just losing himself in the performance or whatever. So yeah, must see stuff. Go watch it for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that.
Awesome, man. So yeah, let's start by I guess we started by doing that, but let's continue by talking some sports now. And man, we got to give ourselves the Barry Horowitz pat on the back. We got 3 out of 4 NHL finalists here. We told you the Eastern Final would be Tampa Bay versus the New York Rangers. We nailed it. We told you it would be Colorado versus Alberta. We were off the post. We thought Calgary, Edmonton, friends of the show, the Edmonton Oilers in the Final Four. So the West Final, Colorado, Edmonton. East Final, Tampa, New York Rangers. Boris, are you backing down from Colorado,
Nope.
Tampa Final?
I am not whatsoever. Denver, Colorado right now, they're just looking so good. Like I said, and I don't know, I don't remember if I actually said this because, I needed to get that Kadri getting suspended joke in. But, him playing the way that he's been playing, him not getting suspended, that's been the difference maker.
Big time. And man, this series, it's hockey, so it's not ever going to come down to one matchup other than maybe goalie versus the world, right? But this series very well may come down to how Nazem Kadri plays against Connor McDavid. That's the marquee matchup right there. Nazem Kadri, one of the best defensive forwards in the league, also adds scoring. He's a two-way player, similar to your boy Anze Kopitar. But obviously a little rougher around the edges than fancy Anze. But that's the matchup right there. Can Nazem Kadri shut down Connor McDavid?
Yeah, the Roxanne Perez of hockey. But can we take a second to honestly just appreciate what Connor McDavid is doing in the playoffs?
Oh, he's so incredible. Leon Draisaitl too. He gets swept under the rug, but if he was alone on a team, well, maybe he wouldn't be able to do quite what he's doing, right? Because Connor gets so much focus. Anyway, both of them, but especially McDavid, is just a treat to watch. Just the things he could do at full speed, at not only full speed, but at a speed that no one else in hockey has ever reached. You know what I mean? Like, it's so incredible to watch. So yeah, he's a treat. We are lucky to watch him in his athletic prime, and he's willing the Oilers to the promised land here. But yeah, I agree. I'm still sticking with Colorado over Tampa in the final.
Yep, exactly. I think Colorado's they're just so freaking good, and they've been slated to win the Cup for how many years? So like we mentioned a couple weeks ago, they kind of have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's not now or never, but the window it's not open for very long in hockey. So they gotta strike while that iron is hot. So our hockey picks, our hockey picks were pretty good. Basketball picks, I took a pie in the face. Boris, you got one of your finalists in. Yep. You had Miami versus Golden State. I had Phoenix versus Brooklyn, which was not a good pick at all. But yeah, so Golden State versus Boston is the NBA final. Do the Celtics have a chance against the Juggernaut Warriors squad? Shaking your head.
Not at all. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Look, the Nuggets, they just look foolish against Golden State. And then even the one game that they did win, Game 4, let's be honest, I feel like Golden State kind of didn't give it their 100% just so that they can win at home.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Like, it's natural when you're up 3-0 to take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. But Boston has the best defense in basketball, man. Defense wins championships, as they say, Boris. You're not scared at all of the defense, the defensive prowess?
Not at all. Not at all.
It was the Mavericks, not the Nuggets. But I know what you're saying. The Luka Doncic led Mavericks.
Yeah. I don't know why I said Nuggets. I think I have Colorado in my head.
Yeah, right now. That's fine. Yeah, at the end of the day, I agree with you, but it feels like you think this is going to be a blowout, like 4 or 5. I'm thinking easy 6 or 7 game series here, but Golden State will win.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it 5. I'm gonna give it 5 games, to be honest.
The gentleman's sweep, if you will, Boris. Yep. Okay, I accept your terms. I'm gonna say hard fought 6 games. Golden State hoists the trophy in Boston. Oof, I love it.
All right, there we go.
Okay, and moving on to our final sports topic, buddy. Gotta talk some baseball. Jays swept the Angels, your favorite team, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, so this is the first time in 40 years, 30 years that they've done a 4-game sweep in California. So kudos to the Jays. Honestly, I didn't watch Friday's game because it was on stupid Apple TV and I was out. Yeah. I was doing stuff, so I wasn't able to catch that game on Friday. But the 3 other games I watched, especially the 2 weekend games, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's game might have been one of the best baseball games I've seen in a really long time.
That was 11-10, right? That game was crazy. Yeah, that was so good. Yeah, Friday night, I had a couple buddies come over, and we sat down and attempted to watch the game, but it wasn't on TV, which is so funny. But yeah, we got it going on the Apple TV, which is hilarious. The one time that I actually invite friends over to utilize the cable that is included with my rent. And here we go. But anyway, yeah, awesome performance by the Blue Jays. Seems like they're back on track. Tough beat for the Angels, who, I'm a big fan of. I'm cheering for Shohei. I'm cheering for Troutsky, but obviously go Toronto.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the Angels are going to angel, and that's what their record is reflecting right now, right? Yeah, it's especially hard when you lose 4 games back to back. And the thing that won us the weekend, that lost the Angels the weekend, was their bullpen. Somehow, we faced a team with a worse bullpen than ours.
We got lucky too, but yeah, the Jays are never out of it. Dating back to even the Josh Donaldson teams, right? Felt like they're always in it. They something about the way they're coached, something about the young scrappy attitude. It just feels like we're never out of a game.
Well, that's exactly it, right? This is the scrappy attitude that we were missing all year. It's back. This is the team that got 91 wins last year. This is a team that can scratch and claw their way from any hole. And I don't like seeing the Jays do this often, but the fact that they can, go down a few runs and then late in the game kind of recompose themselves and come out on top, that goes to show you the grit and determination and kind of like the headspace of where this team's at.
Yeah, exactly. It's a joy to watch, man. And they have some streaky players. Gurriel, one of the streakiest players in the league. But when they are firing, or at least 6 to 9 of them, you know what I mean? When 6, 7, 8 of them are firing, we're good. We're in really good shape. So Jays should be a playoff team. And yeah, that was a huge, huge performance over the weekend by Toronto.
Yep, exactly. Well, with that extra playoff spot, it's really hard. It would take a lot for us to shit the bed, as they say.
Yeah, there are some teams that aren't in the playoffs that should rise up like a McCain pizza, Boris. But yes, I agree.
Well, I was actually looking at the standings as they are as of a few hours ago, and I was actually checking this because it is possible somehow that 4 AL East teams could end up in the playoffs.
Oh, I believe it, man. Yeah, with the new playoff spot, the new extended wild card, I think it could happen a couple times, over the course of the next few years with this AL East.
Exactly. So as of right now, the Yankees are tops in the American League with a winning percentage of .688. If you take a look at the 3 wild card teams, you have Tampa Bay on top with a winning percentage of .583. The Blue Jays in second with the second spot at .574, and then the LA Angels at .551. Boston is only 4 games behind.
Yeah, Boston 4 games behind the Angels. So yeah, the Blue Jays are 27-20. Angels are 27-22, but again, winning percentage. And yeah, but the thing about that is the White Sox, they're the team that I'm looking at. They're the biggest threat right now to squeak back in to the playoff picture. I think the White Sox have a very talented team.
Yep. And then if you look at the National League, right? Right now the Dodgers are on top, actually tied with the Yankees for best record in the league. They have a winning percentage of .688 as well. Then you have the Mets at 660, Milwaukee Brewers at 640, and then the wild card teams are the Padres, the Cardinals, and the Giants.
And yet again, there's one team here I'm looking at, Atlanta Braves, underperforming right now. Perhaps a bit of a hangover, but you got to think they could at least contend for a playoff spot down the stretch.
Yep. Well, Freddie leaving that team opened up a huge hole, right?
It did, man. It's a really good call. It did. It obviously hurt them.
Yep. Like when you have an all-star, Gold Glover, leaving and like, just hit the bat as well. It's so late too, especially the way that everything happened. It's I kind of feel bad for them, but this is the world we live in. Baseball's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun this season. I hope that this and it looks, if you look at the standings as they are, we're gonna have some really nice tight races late August into September.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting, especially with that competitive AL East.
Yep. All right, what's next on the agenda, my friend?
I think that does it for sports talk. We can ease into sports entertainment, a.k.a. wrestling, with the most sports-like presentation of wrestling out there, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the best of the Super Juniors, Boris. You have the upcoming final lined up?
Actually, I don't. So I haven't watched today's show just yet. I should have. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cover nights 7 to 11, and then we're going to do kind of like the Tuesday show, which was today, and the finals from Friday. We'll do that next week.
Okay, I kind of want to give the spoiler, but if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil you.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
No, it's fine. So once I go through everything, you can kind of set the stage. All right.
Very good.
So night 7, is this night 7? Yes, night 7. We're taking a look at night 7. So this only had one standout match for me, and that was the main event, El Lindaman versus El Desperado. This was a very, very good match, dude. El Lindaman, like he's someone I really want to watch out for now.
He showed up in the very first match in AEW history. We were talking about that the other day, and he's somebody who's like kind of lost a little bit. He's slipped through the cracks of pro wrestling, but he's dope. He is really, really good.
Yep. In this match, Titan fought TJP, and at one point I thought he completely just wrecked his chest. He did a double stomp, and it looked nasty.
Oh no.
Nasty.
Oof! You hate to see that, a broken sternum. That would not be good.
Yep, we all know from Wrestling with Shadows how that can go.
Oof.
All right, so taking a look at night number 8, I would have to say that again the main event of Yo versus Hiromu Takahashi was a great match. And the result of this match was surprising because Takahashi did end up losing to Yo. So yeah, it was very interesting to say the least.
You can't win them all, but it is interesting and intriguing to see who they choose for the big stars to lose to. So Yo getting the Duke over Hiromu, that's huge.
And if we had a worst of list for the year, which I feel like we should at some point,
I think we'll piece together a top 10 for sure.
There's a match from this night 8 of Best of the Super Juniors that I would add, and that was Taguchi. Or honestly, any Taguchi or Yano match from this tournament had just been ridiculous.
Yano's not in this tournament, is he?
No, sorry, just Taguchi.
Yeah.
Just Taguchi.
Yeah. Raisuke Taguchi, the funky weapon, lots of booty-based offense like he's Naomi, except he's not. He's a short 40-year-old Japanese man. So yeah, Raisuke Taguchi is an acquired taste, friend. Perhaps, Boris, you have not acquired the taste of the funky weapon.
No, I have not. All right, so night number 9, there were 2 good matches on this show, the main event being one of them. The main events have been like main event qualities, like they've been a lot of fun. This one, night 9, was Robbie Eagles versus El Fantasmo.
Love me some Roberto Eagles. I think he is tremendously underrated, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, there was this one spot where Fantasmo kind of walked the tightrope, and they end up doing a springboard moonsault to the floor.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, Fantasmo, hell of an athlete, too. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a very good match. The other good match from this night. Let me bring up my notes. Sorry. Oh yeah, Francisco Akira versus Yo. This was also a great match, and it went under 10 minutes, but it was fast as hell. It was crazy. Yeah, there was such a good match. Under 10 minutes, Akira versus Yo.
Beautiful, yeah. Francisco Akira is somebody whose name is growing in the professional wrestling world. A little bit of a breakout year for young Mr. Akira.
Yep, exactly. All right, night number 10, match of the night, goes to Hiromu and Zayn.
Nice. Alex Zane showing up and showing out, getting his chance against Hiromu. Hiromu won that one?
Yes, he did.
Yes. Okay, very good.
He did. And then the other great match from this night was Eagles versus Linman.
Nice. Again, like I've mentioned both of those guys as people who I think are tremendously underrated. So you know what? I'm definitely going to check that match out. That's one I've been waiting for in this tournament. Robbie versus Lindemann.
Dude, and again, 10 minutes right on the spot, right on the mark. Like 10 minutes.
Beautiful.
Boom. I stopped my clock.
Nice. Perfect timing.
Yep. So like, and even then, like the Hiromu Alex Zane match was only 13:30. So like, what I'm really enjoying about this tournament is how short the matches are. Even the main events are not that long. Like the main events go 20 minutes max.
Yeah, like 17 to 20. I'm seeing one like 22, but that was Hiromu versus Taiji Ishimori, who is the current champion, right? So obviously that one was going to go over 20. But yeah, man. I unfortunately haven't had any time for this tournament. There's just too much going on in the world of professional wrestling. But we appreciate you watching these shows, Boris, and I'm glad to hear that they're delivering.
Yep. All right. And then night number 11, Robbie Eagles, El Desperado, 19 minutes, 21 seconds. Dude, watch this match, please.
Nice. I definitely will, actually, because, yeah, those are a couple of guys who I have a lot of time for. And that's a huge match there, Desperado versus Eagles, in the standings of the Best of the Super Juniors.
Yep, another great match from this night, which clocked in at just over 11 minutes, was Taiji Ishimori going up against Francisco Akira.
Ooh, that's an interesting match. Akira versus the current junior heavyweight champion. Who won that one? Ishimori?
Ishimori.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Zayn and Yo also had a great match.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the Best of the Super Juniors, man. Heck of a tournament.
Yep. And again, 11 minutes. And then I'm going to give this night 4 matches that you should watch. The fourth match clocks in at about 10 minutes, and that's TJP versus Bushi.
Oof, Bushi. Nice. I like it. All right.
So that is night 11. Night 12 was earlier today. Have not had a chance to watch it. So, Matt, what's going on in the finals?
Okay, let's say spoilers ahead. Big time spoilers ahead. If you are watching Best of the Super Juniors and you haven't seen the results so far, you don't want to be spoiled, fast forward a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, we'll be done. So, spoilers for Best of the Super Juniors. Here we go. Block A, Hiromu and Taiji Ishimori finished tied with 12 points, but Hiromu won the head-to-head. So Hiromu wins Block A. He's in the finals of Block A. Same situation in Block B. El Desperado and El Fantasmo finished both with 12 points, but Desperado won the head-to-head. So your final is from Block A, Hiromu Takahashi versus Block B, El Desperado, Boris.
There you go, which is very interesting just because going into the night, you had Taiji Ishimori at 12 points and Hiromu Takahashi at 10 points. So, and then that Block B, El Fantasmo had 12 points, Robbie Eagles had 10 points, El Desperado had 10 points.
Ah, interesting. Yes. Yeah. So Wheeler Yuta finished with 10. Robbie Eagles finished with 10 in Block B. And in Block A, Show finished with 10. And Ace Austin finished with 10. Just off the post for those guys.
Yeah, Ace Austin, again, having an awesome tournament. Just amazing tournament.
Would you say he's been Ace awesome?
Oh, you're the best. You're the best.
All right. We did it. And we made some dad jokes, some horrible puns. Boris, we're killing it, buddy.
Love it.
All right.
So what's next?
So, yeah, end of spoilers. we have finished discussing Best of the Super Juniors. I think we, if you want to do Impact, I think we probably have time to squeeze in an Impact review, and then Double or Nothing and the retro look back at Owen Hart's finest moment.
Yeah, all right, let's do this. So Impact was being Impact. Like, honestly, one of the this promotion is hitting it. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Nice. It's been like a good 6 to 8 months of us actually enjoying Impact and saying they've been killing it on all fronts.
Yep. So a great match from the night was Laredo Kid versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a matchup that could headline any arena or at least any small armory in the United States or Canada.
Yeah, exactly. And, all of this is set up to the Ultimate X match with Ace Austin coming back from Japan in time to defend it mid-June. So, yeah, Ace Austin hasn't been on the show because he's obviously been in Japan, but he has been getting some promos in, so that's been very cool. Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green, they're just doing their thing. Cardona and Rich Swann are kind of having a feud going on. The women's feud has been tons of fun because you had, a 6-woman tag. You had Deonna Purrazzo, Tasha Steelz, and Savannah Evans versus Jordan Grace, Taya Valkyrie, and Mia Yim. This match was a lot of fun. The faces won, so Grace, Valkyrie, and Yim. So that was, I like that a lot.
Interesting. I love Mia Yim. I think she's got a badass air about her that very few people in women's wrestling have. Shayna Baszler has it when she's allowed to. She had it in NXT. She probably doesn't have it on the main roster anymore, actually. But Mia Yim's got that badass factor, so I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Another good match from the night. It was in it. Look at these names, and I'm saying it was a good match. It was Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus the Good Brothers.
Oh my God, the Boris dream match of all dream matches right there.
Yeah. But it looks like the Honor No More and the Bullet Club feud is going to continue. The Good Brothers end up getting the win here. Honestly, a couple weeks ago, when they had that Battle Royal Gauntlet thing, I honestly questioned Impact why Sami Callihan or why Eric Young is getting a title shot. He's been just doing so well. Like, it's so awesome. And I like the story that they're telling because it's kind of like Eric Young, and the history that he has of being in Impact for a really long time, coming back and forth and going through changes. And then, you have the new generation, the new guy, the new champion, Josh Alexander. So they're doing a really, really good job of building that championship match and kind of having this, making it seem super important for TNA.
Nice. I think it's all in how you present it, man. You know what I mean? Wrestling, we love wrestling, but it's fucking fake, guys. It's all bullshit and smoke and mirrors, all of it, and it's all how you present it. So I'm glad to hear they're doing a good job.
Yep, the Sami Callihan Moose program continues. Words back and forth. That's a thing that's going on. I'm very curious to see how that match is going to end up being.
I'm just laughing at your analysis. Quite the vote of confidence from Boris. Quote, that is a thing that's going on.
You know what I mean?
I love it. No, I do.
Two people who I'm just up and down on, especially Sami Callihan.
Same, man. Sami Callihan's my new Jordan Devlin. The guy I probably have. Actually, no. The guy I have the least amount of time for is Luke Gallows. Number 2, Sami Callihan. And they both work for Impact, so it's tough.
Yep. The main event was Violent by Design, Diener and Joe Doring versus Jay and Mark Briscoe. Dude, match of the night.
Yeah, those are some names on paper there. Joe Doring, super, super underrated. He's not the most exciting wrestler, which I feel like hurts him kind of. He's like somebody you need to watch 4 or 5 times to really understand how good he is. The Briscoes are flashy and they're violent and they're fun. So that's a heck of a match on paper.
Yeah, Joe Doring, he's kind of like a Stylus Young type of wrestler, right? It's like just meat and potato type of wrestler. Yeah. And I'm a fan of All Japan Pro Wrestling, Joe Doring. Like, I think he did some fantastic work in Japan.
Oh yeah.
It's because he was so much bigger than everyone else. He stood out a lot more than he does in Impact. But I think him and being in Violent by Design, being with the two insane guys, Eric Young and Diener, it just kind of works.
It's a good fit for sure. It's a good fit. Yeah, man. No, it sounds solid. Good for you, Impact Wrestling. Shout out Scott D'Amore, good Canadian lad. Good to hear.
Yeah, so build up to Slammiversary is going great. I'm actually now buying the whole Eric Young versus Josh Alexander feud. You have the Honor No More and the Bullet Club still going at it. You have Moose and Sami Callihan, and then you have all the women because they have the Queen of the Mountain match. They're still unsure on the women's knockouts tag team champs and who's gonna go there. I think it's gonna end up being Havoc and our girl, our local gal. What's her name again? Rosemary going at it.
Oh, yeah. How dare you forget the good name of Rosemary? No, it's that's fine. Temporarily, slip of the tongue. We love us some Rosemary here. That'll be very interesting to see who ends up in the match. Yeah, man, Queen of the Mountain, and the Ultimate X on the same show. Like some might say overkill. I am quite excited for both of those. That's the kind of car crash stuff that I like. More on that in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on. Let's speaking of car crashes.
Yes, yeah. Well, first, let's just say that June 19th, 2022, Sunday, it is the actual 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling, and it is Slammiversary 2022. So I'm going to be watching that. If I'm free, I will be watching that. We could maybe, Boris, if we're feeling super duper Randy, maybe do an after show for that one, because that's a big deal. It's the 20th anniversary.
Yep. I was thinking of that.
All right, we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk. Just remember, like, it's the 19th. So June is a crazy month.
Oh, yeah. June we have
19th. Yeah. Then the next Sunday is Forbidden Door. Then the next Saturday is Money in the Bank.
Yeah, just in June, in terms of pay-per-views or whatever, premium live events, if you will, we have June 4th In Your House, June 5th Hell in a Cell, June 19th 20th anniversary of TNA Slammiversary, which is a big deal. I do count it. And June 26th Forbidden Door. And then when's Money in the Bank? July 5th? July 2nd. So, geez, just loaded up.
Yep,
Speaking of loaded.
Speaking of loaded, go ahead, Matt.
The 5-hour opus that was Double or Nothing. So I sat down, I watched it start to finish, but you're getting snacks, your friends are talking. So at some point we were playing music a little bit, so I wasn't watching like with a close eye the first time. I did go back and watch everything closely, willingly watched a couple things a second time. And Boris, I'm pretty certain of my star ratings for this here show. I thought it was too long, but overall a great show, I think I would say.
I would say it was a good show, obviously too long, and the one issue that I had was the in-ring is always going to, for the most part, be good, except for the Jade Cargill match. Some of these matches felt like they really just could have been on Dynamite. Even the triple threat tag team match. And that, to me, is, okay, great. I think AEW has kind of backed themselves in the corner where they've just had just grand slam after grand slam after grand slam of pay-per-views. So this one was still good, but it just wasn't of the quality of even last year's Double or Nothing, right?
That's fair. Well, there are matches that I'm rating below the Mendoza line on this show, and I don't really usually do that for AEW. I think usually everything AEW does is at least like average or usually much better than that. But there are a couple things that I thought were bad on this show. So
yeah,
we will get...
To me, the start of the show, I thought the pacing was great, but as the night went on, we started getting these random promos and these random stuff that didn't need to be on the pay-per-view, like Rush being introduced. Great. That could have been done for Dynamite. I understand why they did it, but something else could have happened in its place.
Fair enough, man. So yeah, at the end of the day, they loaded this show up. Tony Khan did it on purpose with like a goal in mind. and they waited until the NBA game ended to present their main event. And it is what it is. Like I think every complaint that the show was too long is valid, but it's just like I come from a place where I just going into it, I just now accept it. Like, yes, it was too long, but let's talk about how good this too long show was,
Yeah, exactly. The last thing I want to bring up is, so actually 2 points. Point number one, just remember, the average age of the hosts from SNME. So when you make us stay up until almost 1 a.m. to even start the after party, it's gonna, the views might be a little skewed.
Very much so. That's an excellent point. Yeah, we are the young guns. We are the youngest, and we're still old. We're still in our 30s.
That's the beauty of it, right? Like, I am turning 37 this year.
Nice, yes. I got the big 3-5 coming, staring me in the face this summer.
Yep, in what, like a month and a half? Anyways, the point number two, is it a point or is it a question? It's a question. So, because they had to kind of do this weird intermission, for lack of a better term, after the Anarchy in the Arena match, I firmly believe, and what do you think of this? That match should have opened the show.
Oh, that's interesting. Anarchy in the arena?
Yeah.
No, I think the match order was perfect and brilliant. I would not change a thing about the match order of the show. Now, what I would change in an ideal world is removing 2 or 3 matches, just taking them out. But the order in which they came, I think they placed the Anarchy in the Arena match in the perfect spot, and it heated the crowd back up for the rest of the show. I thought it was genius and brilliant, and that's part of the reason why I love the match so much.
Right. Okay. So let's start. let's do it. Let's go at it.
All right, 13 matches to get through, 12 on the main card, 1 on the pre-show. Let's start with that pre-show match. Tag team Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. This was weird. This was not an average professional wrestling match, Boris. It was quite unique. It was Danhausen and Hook against some goofball and the premier athlete, right? So it didn't really resemble many wrestling matches I've ever seen before. So to me, you got to make a call. It was either above or below the line, and I think it was below.
Yep, I agree with you. I think so. Even the little wrestling that there was seemed basic, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it was like a perfectly fine little pre-show match, a bit of fun. Might not have been my choice to entice people to buy the show, honestly, but I didn't dislike it. I love Hook. I like Danhausen a lot. I have a Danhausen shirt. So
this match honestly reminded me of an NXT 2.0 match.
Yeah, man. Yes, it did. It had a lot of... Well, Mark Sterling, God bless him, is not exactly the greatest wrestler. He's an NXT 2.0 character in a lot of ways. Danhausen's arse was hanging out half this match, like his trunks were falling down, you know what I mean? Looking like the Blue Meanie Royal Rumble 1999. Yep. Wear a belt, Danhausen. Yep. But anyway, I still think it was it was a bit of fun. Slight fail, but we're going to go 2 stars out of 5, two poker chips out of 5 for this one, Boris.
All right, sounds good. Let's get to the main card.
Wardlow defeats Maxwell Jacob Friedman via 10 power bombs in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Great, I say. Absolutely everything it needed to be. Perfect placement on the card. I thought the MJF entrance was brilliant. You had to have him milk it. I thought this was a good Jerry Lawler Memphis match. A great Jerry Lawler Memphis match.
This was exactly what it needed to be, and the added stuff at the end of the match with Wardlow being announced on the lead, his reaction, and all that fun stuff, again, made the entire moment perfect.
Yes, sir. 4 poker chips out of 5, 80%, A-. It'll probably squeak on to the July list of matches, but probably won't be there at the end in January.
Yep, sounds good.
Number 3, God bless them, they tried the tag team match. Young Bucks dragging the Hardys to a good match. The departed corpse of Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, this match seemed rough. Like, you knew that the Young Bucks were going to really put on the majority of the match. But man, did they work hard. Man, did they get their money. Man, they earned their paycheck that night.
Like, if you dislike the Young Bucks, like, you have to respect them after this match. You could be the biggest Young Bucks. You could be Jim Cornette, and you watch this Young Bucks match, man, and I'm telling you, how could you not respect what they did on this night? They were bumping around like Super Balls. They got their ass kicked like in a shoot. They put together an incredible match, and they were the meat and potatoes and seasoning and veggies and dessert and the Uber driver who drove it over, like, man, like, yeah, the Young Bucks were everything in this match. Carry job. Was not a great match, but an incredible effort. I couldn't give it any lower than 3 3/4, 75% B+ of a match. That seems perfectly reasonable to me.
I can see a lot of people saying that's too high, but the effort of the Young Bucks is honestly, to me, what stands out.
Absolutely. A for effort, making it a B+ match.
Yeah.
So this is another one that people might think I'm a little too high on, but I thought Jade was great in this match. Jade Cargill defeats Anna Jay via middle rope Jaded. Slightly above average, all things considered. I thought Jade looked much better than Anna. I think Jade is a better wrestler than Anna Jay at this point.
I agree there. She's still not good, in my opinion.
That's fair. It's not great. So, yeah, we're going 3 poker chips out of 5 for that one. 60%. It's a C. And Jade is improving. She's not great yet, but she's improving. This was a solid little match.
Yep. Agreed.
Match number 5. This is one that will probably show up on both the mid-year list and the year-end list of good matches. Great matches. This thing was awesome. The 6-man tag, House of Black versus Death Triangle. This was the PWG 6-man tag. This was the all-action, just furious pace. I really had a lot of time for this. 15 minutes, House of Black wins.
Yeah, I liked it up until the end.
I kind of dug the end because at least they paid off the story that they've been teasing.
Yeah, I can see that. But I don't know. I just the match was so, like, it was going so well. I don't know. I'm torn on that one.
Nah, I liked the ending, but it's fair if you didn't. If it wasn't your cup of tea, I understand that. But yeah, I dug the ending. I thought it worked for me. So we're going 4 1/4 for this one. It's 85. It's a full-on A. And the distinction between 4 and 4 1/4 to me is A- versus A. It's basically like, if you're 4 1/4, you're for sure probably on, for sure on the list at the end of the year. If you're 4, that's when you're in the cut pile. You know what I mean? Anyway. Match number 6, Boris, the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament final. Adam Cole defeats Samoa Joe. I don't know. I feel like they have a better match in them. You could tell this one was their first match.
I agree 100%. I felt like there was something off with them. I don't know whether it was nerves or them just not knowing each other well, but it felt like something was just off. The match was still good and entertaining, but like you said, they do have a better match in them.
Yes, yeah, it just didn't quite get into second gear, but these guys are both brilliant wrestlers, so it's still very good. 3.5 poker chips, 70%. It's a solid B. I feel like maybe they felt the pressure of performing this match for Owen, a little bit.
That's kind of what I was thinking, honestly. I feel like there was obvious, like, you're just, yeah, it's a huge deal, right? And it just goes to show you how much respect Owen Hart still garners in the wrestling world.
Absolutely. So this next match, Boris, this is the one where it's a very personal star rating. It's the way we look at matches. Specifically, I look at matches. The Dave Meltzer scale, this is probably like 3 stars maybe, but Dr. Britt Baker defeats Ruby Soho. Incredible entrance for Ruby. I thought the match and the commentary was actually like really, really good. I thought just in the ring, I thought the match was better than the men's. I actually thought that they outperformed their male counterparts, and I thought they kind of stole the Owen Hart Cup, if you will. And then we had the post game with Martha, which was just beautiful and moving. So I'm going to rate this for the moment, the way we look at pro wrestling, for the theater of it, minimum 4 stars, 4 poker chips out of 5. So we'll grant it an A- because it wasn't a classic match. But for the moment, for everything, 4 poker chips out of 5 for this one. Dr. Britt Baker defeats Ruby Soho, wins the Women's Owen Cup.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. This next match was not great or good at all. I didn't like it very much. This was an NXT 2.0 match. 6-person mixed trios. American top team. Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and Paige Van Zandt in her first wrestling match versus Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. The crowd was with it. They went ooh and ah when they were supposed to, but this was a bad wrestling match.
Yeah, it was not good. There was just people were waiting for their cues a little too much on this match. It felt overbooked at times, and it just really did feel like an NXT match.
Yeah, man, I agree. NXT 2.0 here on Double or Nothing. So yeah, still a good effort by everyone involved, but not the best match. So 2 poker chips out of 5, slight fail.
Yep.
All right, here is my favorite portion of the show. These are my 3 favorite matches, back to back to back, boom, boom, boom. So my bronze medal match of the night, Kyle O'Reilly defeats Darby Allin. Only went 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Beautiful match. I love this so much. It wasn't super clean. Like there was a couple botched spots, I guess you would say, like Darby Allin's dive. Yeah. He kind of got mixed up in the ropes there, but man, this was a war. They beat the crap out of each other. I thought they gelled so well, like Darby's missed dive notwithstanding. I thought this match was brilliant. If you look at the card, it'd probably be the first one you cut, but man, I'm glad they didn't because it was so great.
The first match I would cut is Jade Cargill, for the simple fact that she is the TV champion.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. But they're trying to say that that's the A title because she's the A champion. It's Carmelo Hayes.
I understand. But, whatever. But yeah, this is the second match that I would have cut. Having said that, good match.
I thought it was great. I thought it was my bronze medal match of the night. Kyle O'Reilly defeats Darby Allin. 4 1/4, 85, solid A. We'll be talking about it twice again in July and then January.
Yep. All right. This next match is very, very mixed bag of people's opinions.
Very divisive. Yeah, man. I've noticed that too. I thought this was great. Silver medal match of the night, in my opinion. This was the second best thing on the entire show, I thought. I really did. Thunder Rosa defeats Serena Deeb in an excellent match that both performers really needed. They both needed to have this great match, and they did it. I thought this was great, man. I'm surprised that people didn't like this.
This was my match of the night.
There you go. I'm right there with you, buddy. Well, not quite, but I thought it was great wrestling match, great performance. Both girls needed it. Just a hard-fought, intelligent, scientific wrestling match. Thunder Rosa wins, defends the title, 16 minutes, 55 seconds. Another 4 1/4 poker chips for that one.
Yeah, no, this match was great. And this is the match that Thunder Rosa really needed because of, I guess, of her reign so far. It's kind of been underwhelming for.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. It definitely character-wise, she needed this match. It's still just getting started though, right? Like it's too early to write the book on it, but to this point, it has been slightly underwhelming. Yes, so hopefully this sets it back on track.
If that promo she cut from last week is the start of her new character and like more intense Thunder Rosa, I'm all game.
100%. That's a good jumping off point. All right, Boris. Here we go. I'm going to go for a little bit, and then you tell me why I'm wrong and an idiot. Anarchy in the Arena, 10-man tag. This is an all-time classic. This is by far my favorite match on the show. One of my favorite matches I've seen in AEW. This is the second best match of the year, I will go as far to say. The only thing I have ahead of this match so far is Briscoes versus FTR. I fucking loved Anarchy in the Arena. I thought it was brilliant. It was a Kevin Dunn wet dream. There was blood. There was 1,000 camera cuts. There was mustard. Boris, there was mustard. Eddie Kingston with an all-time classic moment and visual, sauntering down the ring like a literal serial killer, like some kind of horror movie villain looking to set Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho on fire. I thought the ending was brilliant. I thought every piece of this was amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. Way better than I thought it could be. Brilliant wrestling match. I might be the highest on this match of anyone in the world, but 4.5 stars at least, minimum. 4.5 poker chips out of 5. All-time classic. Tell me why I'm stupid.
No, I'm not a fan of these multi-man schmozzes. And which funny enough because of a retro review, but this was too much, right? I felt like this was too much. It was hard to keep track of what was going on. I feel like we missed a lot of action. They cut away, they cut back, and people are bleeding. It must have been a fun match to be there for, but on TV, it just for me personally, multi-men street fights like this is just too much.
Fair enough, man. Like, I don't love every single style. Like, every time they do like a crazy weapons match, it's not always the best. But this one was it might have been the best version. It was the best of Memphis, the best of ECW. It's just this is what I love from wrestling. It was the best of like the hardcore title. It was Al Snow getting thrown into the Mississippi River or whatever it is. It was all these fun moments wrapped up into one. The Tupelo concession stand brawl, like Tony Schiavone said. I just loved it. I just thought it was exactly what it needed to be. And all 10 people, I think, either came out better or at least have a clear storyline direction like Eddie Kingston does. So, man, loved it. Match of the show by a country mile.
Interesting. Very interesting. And I know this was another match that got a lot of mixed reviews from people.
Yes, the triple threat tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Jurassic Express retaining the title versus Team Taz and Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Tough one to rate, in my opinion, because the action was really good, but this was kind of a little bit of a bathroom break match. They still went 17 minutes and really tore it up. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it was a great match, but it was definitely lost on me in the moment. This is when I had to go back and watch a second time. So maybe that means it's not great. I don't know.
It's hard because, again, remember, like we're by this point, it's midnight. By this point, you're getting right off of the Anarchy in the Arena match. By this point, depending on what you thought of the show going in, it's just you're kind of tired by now, right? So this match was just placed in a weird spot, but I can kind of like it made sense. All 6 guys did a great job. I feel that there's some curiosity in me to see what they do with the tag team belts at this point. So kind of like like mission accomplished there. So how would you rate this match?
I think I'm going 3 3/4. Not quite great, but very, very good. That B+. And it's maybe just a matter of personal taste. Like, I like violence, clearly. I like a crazy spectacle, but the cruiserweight kind of like spot fest, not super my bag. I would prefer a dramatic bit of storytelling or crazy violence, which we saw in the previous match and the next match. So yeah, personally, I'm going 3 3/4 for this one.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that rating.
Beautiful, buddy. And next up, match number 13, singles match for the AEW World Championship. CM Punk wins the title, defeats Hangman Page, 25 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm more apt to call this a great match than I would be the previous.
Same.
Because of the storytelling, the drama.
Yep. I really like this match a lot. I think this match was exactly what you needed to do. I feel that, funny enough, this was probably Hangman Adam Page's. It might not be his best title defense, but from a pure storytelling, story advancement, character advancement point of view, I think this match, stood tall there.
Yeah, and Hangman is not the type of character who needs to be Hulk Hogan and have a 4-year title reign. Hangman's the kind of character who needs to get fucked out of the title and get on a redemption arc and chase the title and then win it and hold it for a couple months and get fucked again, rinse, wash, repeat until he's 45 and he retires, right? Like,
exactly.
Hangman Adam Page will hopefully be what Magnum TA should have been had he not gotten in that big accident. Yeah. I think that is his ceiling. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of the way I think his career would have went, Magnum TA's, and that's kind of what I think is going to happen with Adam Page. I don't think this loss hurts him at all. I thought even the botched clothesline, the botched buckshot lariat, kind of helped the match because CM Punk is the old dog. Can he still do it? You know what I mean? Can he still perform? And so when he screws up a spot like that, it plays into that story. So it's actually, it hurts CM Punk's matches, botches do, less than any other wrestler at this point, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right there. And the thing about this match for me was, Hangman Adam Page, is stronger now, in my opinion, that he lost the belt because it is his redemption story.
See, man, I agree with you. I don't know if everyone would think that or say that, but I agree. That's a great call. I think so too. But yeah, so I would say at the end of the day, great bit of storytelling, great wrestling match, 4 out of 5, A-, but still solid 4 chips out of 5 for this one. And all in all, like, look at the numbers I gave every match on the show. Like, it would be silly for me to not call it great. You know what I mean? Although I did need to watch it in 2 sittings. It's a lot to digest at once.
Yeah, and I think that right there, that right there is an indication of how long these shows are, which, like, I get it. I understand why you want to keep them long. There's only 4 a year. You want to get anyone who deserves a match in there. I get that. I do. But, if there's, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot for one night.
So much for one night. Anyway, so that is the AEW look back now. We wanted to also touch on Owen Hart's finest moment, Canadian Stampede. I think the only match on Double or Nothing that was better than the 10-man tag on Canadian Stampede was Anarchy in the Arena. That's the only thing that I liked more than watching the 10-man tag match back. But I actually did go back and watch all of Canadian Stampede. I thought it was a pretty solid show.
That show was great. Triple H or Hunter versus Mankind. Great match.
Yeah, so Triple H versus Mankind, hilarious. It goes to a double countout in the opening match. So kind of a little bit of a weird start, but they paid off the double countout by continuing to fight for the remainder of the pay-per-view all throughout the arena and backstage, which I thought was a great angle. So that actually helped boost the match, in my opinion. So actually, we'll do, you know what? Let's do star ratings for the whole thing. So we're going to go 3.5 flames out of 5 for that Triple H versus Mankind match here at the Canadian Stampede. Another 3.5 out of 5. Great Sasuke versus Takamichi Noku. I thought that was a solid match. 10 minutes on the dot. Vince McMahon had no idea what to make of these men. The first light heavyweight match on pay-per-view in WWF in like years and years.
The commentary, go back and watch this match, like, simply for the live commentary. McMahon was so lost.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So you know what? I would go as high as B+ for this one. We're going 75, 3 3/4 flames out of 5 for that one. The next match was the worst on the show, but still solid. Undertaker versus Vader. They were sloppy, but in a good way. You know what I memean? There was like, it felt like a fight. They were beating the crap out of each other, but at the same time, they were like botching tombstones in this match, like falling down, trying spots. It was a slug fest.
Yeah.
Bowling shoe ugly.
It really was. And this is like nearing the end of Vader's run too, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would still go for 3 out of 5. Maybe that's silly on my part, but I think this was, 3 flames out of 5 for this one, just because it was a fun slugfest, but boy, it was a sloppy, fun slugfest.
Yep.
Bringing us to the main event, Boris, 10-man tag, the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Brian Pillman, Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, the Anvil, Jim Neidhart, and of course, Owen Hart, the Rocket, the King of Hearts, the Black Heart, versus Ken Shamrock, Goldust, Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, the biggest heel in Calgary, bigger than Ralph Klein.
Yeah, dude. This match, I remember watching this entire show live, but this main event was just beautiful. I love this match so much. The summer of '97 might be my favorite summer of wrestling ever in history. The U.S.-Canada angle, the lead into Brett and Michael's Survivor Series later that year. Like, there's just so much that happened in the summer of '97, and this match was just perfect. Such a perfect kind of middle, like a middle spot of the entire feud.
Absolutely, man. Yes, so much going on. Not to mention all the cool cruiserweight matches and stuff happening in WCW, like Ultimo Dragon, Rey Mysterio at the height of his powers, Mean Man Eddie Guerrero. But yeah, in WWE, we had arguably the greatest feud ever. It's like right up there with Austin versus McMahon, with Savage versus Hogan, the Bret Hart versus United States, Bret Hart versus Steve Austin feud is among the best stuff they've ever done in the history of WWE. And this was one of the big chapters in it. It's the crowd heat, that makes it special, and that goes without saying. But this isn't a technical classic, but the way we look at and the way we rate matches, it is an absolute stone cold, if you'll pardon the pun, classic. Like it is a classic indisputably.
Yeah, and this being in Calgary, how can you have a match in Calgary without having more hearts involved?
Yeah, well, exactly right. So we had Stu and Helen and Bruce introduced. Actually, they only introduced Stu and Helen, but Bruce was there lifting up Stu's hand because Bruce is a carny. He's going to get on TV if he can. I love it. But in just 25 minutes of 1997 Attitude Era. This is, if you only have to watch one Attitude Era match, if you had to bring one to a desert island, there's a really good case for this one, especially if you're a Canadian fan, especially if you're a Western Canadian fan.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think what made this match that much more special, it was the fact that they were in Western Canada, right? Like, WWE doesn't give Western Canada enough love with live events and pay-per-views. So the fact that not only were they getting a pay-per-view, but they were getting a huge match like this in the middle of this huge feud going on, it was just like perfect, and the crowd was just disgustingly hot throughout the entire match. Like just those intros when the entire Hart Foundation formed up on the stage and they all walked down together. It's just like,
So good. I forget the band. Maybe they were called Farmer's Daughters or something like that, but there was a Canadian band that sang the Canadian national anthem before the Hart Foundation's intro too. It's just Canadiana in professional wrestling. It was so great.
Even the promo before the match, the Hart Foundation promo before the match, is like one of the best team promos that you're ever going to listen to.
I agree with that too, man. And I loved the heel promo, if you will, the American side promo with Goldust actually saying, like, I'm trying to hold this team together, and everyone goes around and speaks, and when they get to Steve Austin, he just walks off, Eddie Kingston style. He's just ready to fight, and fight now.
Yep. It's such a good match. And this match is just like one of those matches that I honestly try to watch at least once a year.
Yeah, that's fine. I haven't seen it in like a good decade, probably. It was so nice to go back and watch it, though. Just fits like a glove, just felt like home. It felt way quicker than 25 minutes, in my opinion. But so this is a classic in our eyes. 4.5 flames out of 5. I actually have the Meltzer ratings for this show, and it kind of shows the difference, the minor differences between how we rate matches. We generally are kind of on the same page as Meltzer here at BAM, but so Meltzer gave Triple H versus Mankind 3 stars, Great Sasuke versus Michinoku 4, Undertaker versus Vader he gave 3.25, and the main event he gave 4.25. So he's right around it, but like this is inarguably one of the greatest WWE pay-per-views of all time by anyone's eyes, by anyone's opinion. If you like in-ring action, if you like storytelling, if you like crowds, if you like whatever you could possibly like in professional wrestling, athleticism, weapons, and crazy fighting, and like you will find something to like on this show.
Best in your house? ?
Best in your house by a Grand Canyon. Are you kidding me? By a wide margin. Oh yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, man. So yeah, that's all I got. The only match that I saw in Double or Nothing that was even close to the 10-man tag was the 10-man tag, ironically.
Yeah, I know, right? Go figure. I love when that happens. But yeah, no, this show was great. That 10-man tag, just perfect timing, perfect location, perfect wrestlers. An all-time classic, in my opinion.
I'm right there with you, buddy. July 6th, 1997. Go back and watch it if you haven't in a while.
Yep. And it just, again, the next month you had SummerSlam from New Jersey with the infamous Michaels as referee and Bret Hart winning the gold. So, that entire summer was just so good.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to even mention it. Put a point on it. Owen Hart, the reason why it was Owen's finest moment is because he won the match. He got the final fall. He was the winner at the end of the day with his hand raised for the country, for the family. We love you, Owen. We miss you. And it's so nice to see Martha Hart enjoying professional wrestling again, to see Owen Hart be celebrated, to see Britt Baker and Adam Cole holding those belts and those cups and just enjoying that moment with Martha. It's enough to warm your heart, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Owen Hart. We love you and thank you for your contributions to professional wrestling.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, thanks for that, Matt. All right, so this week is a huge week here at SNME Radio because this weekend we have the aftercast for NXT 2.0 in your house on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then Sunday night after WWE's premium live event, Hell in a Cell. We're coming at you live right after the show, hopefully before midnight. But I'm guessing it's going to happen around 11.
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be a solid 2:45 for that WWE pay-per-view.
Yep. All right. So that's all we have for this week's episode of BAM. He's Matt. I'm Boris. Stay tranquilo.
Check out the TikTok. Yeah.